Hello and welcome. My name is Eric, and it is so hot in Southern California, but that is not the topic for today. The topic for today is color grading in Capture One. If you selected this, I'm assuming that you know what Capture One is. If you do not, I'm going to very quickly gloss over what it is. It's a tethering software and also a photo manager / editor. If you ever use Lightroom before, it's kind of like the same thing, but made by a different company. Some people say it's better, some people say it's worse. Honestly, I think it's up to your own personal preference, and you should give it a shot. There is a free trial of it, and you can definitely see if it works better for you. I use it personally because I like the way that it actually manages the photos, the tools that it has, and the options you have while tethering with your camera. That's going to be my quick overview. So right now what we're going to get into is color grading. Now color grading is a very big subject, and you can honestly spend an entire career learning about color theory, all that kind of stuff. And I am by no means anywhere near a professional or really good at it. I just wanted to make a video and show you guys kind of how I color grade my images. This is an image that I took a while back, and what I did is I went ahead and removed the color grading layers that I use, and I want to show you what I like to do. So there are several ways to color grade in your image, and my favorite way is actually to use the curves tool, which this tool is kind of small, so I'm actually going to go back over to this guy, and this one's a little bit bigger. So curves tool, if you have ever used it in any other application, it's pretty much the exact same thing. If you never have, the way that it works is we have this line here, which is basically our median, our normal, so to speak. Down here we have our darks. In the middle we have our midtones, and you guessed it, the top is the highlights. In Capture One, before they just had RGB, red, blue, green, but in Capture One 9, they did introduce Luma, which this is similar to the luminosity blending mode, if you have ever used that in Photoshop. And basically what it does is it attempts to change the luminous values, which is how bright or dark that value is, without changing the color. So this is really nice if you want to add contrast or brighten or darken your image. But again, this is about color grading. So what we're going to talk about is the red channel, green channel, and blue channel. And the reason why I like the curves is because you get a lot of control over the color, as well as you get multiple color options. What I mean by that is, like right now we're looking at the red channel. And if I go above this line, then I am introducing red. I'm adding more red to the image. Whereas if I go below the line, I'm taking away red, which is going to introduce a color known as cyan. So I'm going to go ahead and just drag that out of there to take that point out. And same thing happens with the green and blue channel. The green channel, if we add green, take it away, that becomes a violet or purple color. If we add blue, or if we take it away, we get yellow. So I tend to do more of a like quote unquote cinematic color grade, and the way that I like to do that is, first I'll take a point in my darks and I kind of take away the red to introduce some of that cyan into the darks. And in this particular image we do have a lot of shadows, a lot of midtones, so the color grading is going to show up very quickly. And then what I like to do is just bring up the red point just slightly to give it a little bit more of a warm feel. The green I usually do last. So blue is going to be next, and I'm actually going to introduce a little bit more blue into my shadows because it gives it more of a teal type of color. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring down the blues in my highlights to introduce more of a yellow color. Now if it's looking a little too colorful for you, that is fine. We're going to take that out. And the green, most of the time I will just bring this down a little bit to take that out, to introduce some of that violet. Sometimes in the shadows we will do it a little bit more. Think that looks pretty good there. If you ever were feeling really colorful, you want to go a little wild with it, you can definitely introduce a lot of blue, and that definitely doesn't look bad. But I like to do a bit more of a desaturated color. So right now we are in the exposure tool tab, and you can see under exposure we have saturation. If I take that and bring that all the way down, you'll notice the image doesn't really get black and white like you would expect. What you actually need to do is go into this color tool panel, and then we go to the color editor, select our whole color wheel, and then we have the saturation here. We can bring that down. So if I take that all the way down, you can see that it is in fact black and white. So I'm actually going to go ahead and bring that back up. I don't have a typical value that I use. It varies from image to image, depending on the colors, what their saturation levels are when I edit it and when I capture it. So for this, I pretty much eyeball it, which for this looks like it's going to be about 19.4. I like that. It's good. And that's really all you have to do to color grade in Capture One. There are a lot of different ways to do it. Again, you can explore, kind of pick your own route. If you're looking for other ways and you're like, I just don't like the curves tool, you can also look at the color balance. They have the master 3-way, which is another great way to do it. Recently, I have been seeing some trends with the levels tool, where you can do a similar idea, but you actually control the color by mainly the midtones here when you play with it. So you get more red, more green. But like I said, I like more control, and so that is why I like the curves tool. That is going to be it for this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you do have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. Always remember to love yourself, and I cannot wait to share the next video with you.